Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of fireworks. You know, those dazzling displays we all love. Just in time for your next celebration. I have to say, looking at the sources you sent over, I'm really struck by just how much chemistry is involved.
It really is remarkable. We often focus on the visual spectacle, but behind each burst of color and sound, there's this intricate interplay of chemical reactions. It's a symphony of elements reacting to produce light, sound, and those beautiful smoke trails we see.
It's like a chemistry set exploding right above our heads. One thing that really caught my eye in these sources was the role of metal salts. They're the secret behind those vibrant colors, right?
Precisely. Different metal salts emit different colors when heated. It's fascinating how specific elements create those signature hues.
Like those fiery reds we see in fireworks, they use the same element as those emergency flares, right?
Exactly. That's strontium at work. It creates those vivid reds that really grab your attention, whether it's a firework bursting in the sky or a flare signaling for help.
So the same element is responsible for those roadside flares and those brilliant red fireworks. That's a neat connection I never would have guessed. What about those rich blue colors?
Ah, those blues. For those, we can thank copper compounds. They produce a range of blues, from deep azure to almost turquoise shades. It's like capturing the essence of a historic copper dome in a burst of light.
It's amazing how everyday elements can create such extraordinary displays. I'm starting to see a pattern here. What about those cheerful yellow bursts? What element is responsible for those?
Well, believe it or not, it's sodium, the same element we find in table salt. It produces those bright yellows that remind me of those old-fashioned sodium street lamps.
Wow, that's incredible. It really makes you think about the hidden chemistry all around us. We've covered red, blue, yellow. What about green? Those lush greens have always been my favorite.
For green, we can thank barium. It's a fascinating case because barium is actually toxic, but when handled carefully and in the right context, it creates those stunning green hues in fireworks.
It's a reminder that even potentially dangerous elements can be harnessed to create something beautiful. So we've got these metal salts as our color palette, but how do they actually ignite and burn? Don't you need oxygen for combustion?
That's a great question. That's where oxidizers come in. They're essentially the breath of fire, providing the oxygen needed for those dazzling reactions to occur.
So it's like each firework has its own mini oxygen tank built in. It's pretty ingenious. But I'm still wondering about one thing. We've got all these chemicals, the colors, the oxidizers. How does it all stay together until the right moment? It can't be as simple as just tossing a pile of chemicals in the air and lighting a match.
You're right. There's one more crucial element to the mix binders. They act like glue, holding the entire firework composition together until the fuse is lit.
Ah, so they provide the structural integrity, ensuring everything stays in place until that precise moment of ignition. It's like the flour in a cake holding all the ingredients together.
That's a great analogy. Binders play a vital role in ensuring the firework functions as intended. Okay, so we've got our vibrant colors from metal salts, our burning power from oxidizers, and our structural integrity from binders. But what about those satisfying boom sounds? What creates that iconic sound that echoes through the night?
That's the part I've always been curious about. It's such a distinct sound, so powerful.
Well, that's where the granddaddy of fireworks comes in black powder, or gunpowder as it's more commonly known. It serves a dual purpose, providing the lift charge that sends the fireworks skyward and creating those explosive sound effects we associate with a grand finale.
So black powder is like the engine and the sound system of the firework all rolled into one. That's incredible. And speaking of black powder, wasn't it originally used for something quite different from creating dazzling light shows?
You're thinking of firearms. It's amazing how a single invention, driven by chemical principles, can evolve over time to serve such different purposes. From the battlefield to the night sky, black powder has certainly left its mark on history.
It really makes you appreciate the ingenuity of those early chemists and inventors who harnessed the power of chemistry to create such impactful innovations. But I'm starting to wonder about those bangs in particular. How exactly does a chemical reaction translate into those loud, booming sounds?
That's where the physics of sound waves comes into play. When black powder ignites, it creates this sudden rapid expansion of hot gases. It's like a mini explosion contained within the firework itself, and that rapid expansion produces a shock wave, which we perceive as that satisfying boom.
So it's not just the chemical reaction itself, but the physical forces it unleashes. This chain reaction of energy transforming from one form to another is incredible.
Precisely. And the intensity of that boom, well, that depends on a few things. The amount of black powder used, the size and shape of the firework, even the surrounding air pressure. It's all carefully calculated to achieve that desired effect.
So it's not just about randomly stuffing things into a tube and hoping for the best. There's a precise science to creating those awe-inspiring sounds.
Absolutely. It's a delicate dance between chemistry, physics, and engineering, all working in harmony to create those spectacular displays.
It's easy to get caught up in the visual spectacle, but the audio component is just as crucial to the overall experience. It makes you appreciate the depth of knowledge and expertise that goes into designing these intricate displays.
It truly is a testament to human ingenuity and our constant desire to push the boundaries of what's possible with science and art.
I couldn't agree more. But we've been chatting for a while now, and I think it's time to shift gears a bit and explore some of those other fascinating aspects you mentioned, like the different types of fireworks and the design challenges they present.
I'm ready when you are.
Perfect. Let's dive into those facets of the firework world.
So, we've talked about black powder providing that initial lift and that boom, but what about those other effects, those bursts and crackles and whistles that make each firework unique?
Yeah, those are the detail that really make a fireworks show memorable. How do they create those different shapes and sounds?
Well, it's all about the arrangement of the chemical components inside the firework and the specific types of fireworks used. You've got your basic aerial fireworks that kind of shoot up and burst in the sky.
Those are the classics, the ones we all picture when we think of fireworks.
Exactly. And those are often spherical shells packed with these smaller elements called stars.
Stars, are those like mini fireworks within the bigger firework?
That's a great way to think about it. Each star has its own unique blend of chemicals, so they burn with their own color and effect. The way those stars are arranged around the core of the firework determines the shape and pattern of the burst you see in the sky.
So it's like a three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle where each piece contributes to the overall design.
Precisely. And the possibilities are endless. There are stars that create a willow effect with long cascading tendrils of light, or peony stars that produce a dense full burst. And then you have chrysanthemum stars, which burst into a spherical pattern resembling the flower.
It's amazing how each effect has a name that evokes its visual appearance. It's like a secret language for firework designers. What about those other sounds, though, like crackles and whistles? Are those created with stars, too?
Not always. Those effects often come from specialized compositions within the firework. For example, a whistle mix might include potassium perchlorate and sodium benzoate, which creates that whistling sound as it burns.
Ah, so it's not just about the visual spectacle. They're incorporating elements that appeal to our other senses as well.
Exactly. It's a multi-sensory experience, a symphony for the eyes and ears. And when you consider the sheer variety of fireworks and the countless ways they can be combined, the creative possibilities are just mind-boggling.
I can only imagine. It must take a lot of planning and expertise to choreograph a whole fireworks show.
Oh, absolutely. Firework designers have to carefully time each burst and effect to create a narrative in the sky. It's like composing a musical score, but instead of notes, you're using bursts of color and sound.
It's a fascinating blend of art and science. But speaking of science, we've talked about the chemicals that create those beautiful colors and sounds, but what about the environmental impact of fireworks? I imagine there might be a downside to all those dazzling displays.
Yeah, that's a really important consideration. While we marvel at those brilliant bursts of color, we can't ignore the fact that fireworks do release pollutants into the atmosphere.
So those beautiful smoke trails we admire are actually contributing to air pollution.
Unfortunately, yes, it's a complex issue, but it's important to be aware of those environmental impacts. Especially in areas where fireworks are frequent, those pollutants can affect air quality and potentially have health consequences.
It makes you think about the trade-offs, right? The beauty and joy we experience versus the potential environmental consequences.
Exactly. It's a balancing act. But the big news is that there's a growing movement towards more sustainable fireworks. Researchers are exploring alternative compositions that produce less smoke and fewer harmful byproducts.
That's encouraging to hear. So it's not just about the spectacle. It's about finding ways to make those celebrations more environmentally responsible, too.
Absolutely. Innovation and scientific advancement play a huge role in minimizing the negative impacts of fireworks. And who knows, maybe in the future we'll have fireworks that are both visually stunning and completely eco-friendly.
That would be incredible. It gives me hope that we can find ways to celebrate and enjoy those traditions without compromising the health of our planet.
Speaking of compromising health, we haven't even touched on the elephant in the room, safety.
That's right. As much as we enjoy the visual and auditory spectacle, we can't forget that fireworks are inherently dangerous if not handled properly.
Absolutely. We're dealing with explosives and flammable materials that demand respect and caution.
So before we wrap up, let's talk about some of those safety precautions. We want everyone to be able to enjoy those dazzling displays without any mishaps.
Definitely. Let's dive into some crucial safety tips to ensure everyone has a safe and enjoyable experience.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Before we're talking about those safety precautions for fireworks, making sure everyone can enjoy those celebrations without any mishaps.
Right, because even though we get caught up in the excitement, fireworks are explosives, it's easy to forget that.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of those risks. What are some of the most common safety hazards people should be aware of?
Well, the most immediate risk is burns. I mean, fireworks get incredibly hot, and any direct contact can cause serious burns. So it's absolutely crucial to never hold a lit firework and to always keep a safe distance.
That sounds like common sense, but, in the excitement of the moment, sometimes common sense goes out the window.
Exactly. People often underestimate the power packed into even those small fireworks. It's important to remember they can cause significant injuries.
So burns are definitely a major concern. What other hazards should people be aware of?
Another big one, and this is often overlooked, is eye injuries. Fireworks can shoot out sparks and debris that travel at high speeds. And if that stuff gets in your eyes, it can cause serious damage, even vision loss.
I've definitely seen those warnings, but I have to admit I haven't always taken them seriously. I'll be more careful from now on.
It's definitely worth being cautious. Eye injuries from fireworks are more common than you might think, and the consequences can be really serious.
Okay, burns and eye injuries, got it. Any other hazards we should add to the list?
One more that's often forgotten is hearing damage. Those loud booms, especially from the bigger fireworks, can actually exceed safe noise levels.
That's kind of ironic, isn't it? The sound we love so much can actually be harmful.
Yeah, it's like too much of a good thing. It's a good idea to wear earplugs or some kind of hearing protection, especially if you're close to where they're launching the fireworks.
Great advice. I'll keep that in mind. Well, this deep dive has really been eye-opening. It's made me realize just how complex fireworks really are. There's so much more to it than just those beautiful colors and sounds.
Right, it's a whole combination of chemistry, physics, safety, environmental considerations. It's really fascinating when you think about it.
It really is. So for anyone listening, the next time you're watching a fireworks show, take a moment to appreciate all the work and science and artistry that goes into creating that spectacle.
And remember, folks, safety first. Have fun, but be responsible and enjoy those celebrations safely.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that spark of curiosity alive.